In the words of Julius Caesar, Vidi, Veni, Vici, Chuck Norris. In other words, I came, I saw, I was roundhouse kicked in the face by Chuck Norris. When Chuck Norris plays Monopoly, it affects the world's economy. Chuck Norris can only be unlocked on the hardest level of Tekken, but only Chuck Norris is skilled enough to unlock himself. And then he roundhouse kicks it back to Japan. Chuck Norris drinks napalm to quell his heartburn. Whenever somebody says intense, Chuck Norris says, you know what else is intense? That is usually followed by a roundhouse kick to the face. As an infant, Chuck Norris's parents gave him a hammer. And to the world, he gave them Stonehenge. Chuck Norris once ordered a steak at a restaurant. The steak did what it was told. Most people fear the Reaper. Chuck Norris values him as a promising rookie. There are only two things that can cut diamonds. Diamonds and Chuck Norris's roundhouse kick. President Roosevelt once rode his horse 100 miles. Chuck Norris did the same thing with a horse on his back in half the time. Chuck Norris once ate 4 30-pound bowling balls at the same time, without chewing. Chuck Norris qualified at the top speed of 324 miles an hour at the Daytona 500, without a car. Chuck Norris likes his coffee half and half. Half coffee, half wood grain alcohol. Chuck Norris uses Tabasco sauce as eye drops. A man once claimed he got his butt kicked by Chuck Norris twice. This was stupidly ignored because no one survives the first time. Chuck Norris's credit cards have no limit. Last week, he maxed them out. Chemical formula for highly toxic cyanide is CN. These are Chuck Norris's initials. This is no coincidence. Chuck Norris sleeps with a pillow under his gun. Chuck Norris doesn't chew gum, he chews tinfoil. Aliens do exist. They just choose to visit a planet that doesn't have Chuck Norris on it. Chuck Norris owns a chain of fast food restaurants. They only serve barbecue-flavored ice cream and Hot Pockets. When in a bar, you can order a drink called Chuck Norris. It's also known as a Bloody Mary. If your name is Mary. Every time Chuck Norris smiles, somebody dies. Except when he's smiling when he's doing a roundhouse kick. Then 2 people die. Some people ask for a Kleenex when they sneeze. Chuck Norris asks for a body bag. There's an order to the universe. Space, time, Chuck Norris. Ha, just kidding. Chuck Norris comes first. A man once asked Chuck Norris if his first name was actually Charles. Chuck Norris said nothing. He stared at him till he exploded. Chuck Norris doesn't see dead people. He makes people dead. Chuck Norris is the only man that can ever hold 5 Uzis and fire them at the same time. 1 in each hand, 1 in each foot. The other one he roundhouse kicks so he just starts spraying bullets. For undercover police work, Chuck Norris pins his badge under his shirt into his skin. X-Men movies, there are no special effects for the X-Men characters. They just use Chuck Norris. We live in an expanding universe. All of it's trying to get away from Chuck Norris. The word kill was invented by Chuck Norris, along with die, beer, and what? Chuck Norris is a vegetarian, meaning he beats animals to a vegetative state before devouring them. The 11th commandment is, thou shalt not piss off Chuck Norris. That commandment is very rarely enforced because it isn't possible to do. Chuck Norris owns his own line at the DMV. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Unless you're Chuck Norris, 2 wrongs make a roundhouse kick to the face. Who let dogs out? Chuck Norris did, and then roundhouse kicked him through a Oldsmobile. Chuck Norris can do a Chuck Norris can do a roundhouse kick faster than the speed of light. That means when you turn on a light bulb, you'll be dead before the light bulb turns on. When Chuck Norris goes out to eat, he orders a whole chicken, but only devours its soul. Chuck Norris has never won an Academy Award for acting, because he's not acting. Chuck Norris wants your opinion, he'd beat it into you. Not everyone that Chuck Norris gets mad at gets killed. Some get away. They're known as astronauts. Godzilla is a Japanese rendition of Chuck Norris's first visit to Japan. It once made Chuck Norris toilet paper, but it wouldn't take from anybody. Chuck Norris once took a 9-foot grizzly bear through a car wash instead of taking a shower. Chuck Norris doesn't daydream. He's too busy giving other people nightmares. There's no such thing as tornadoes. Chuck Norris just hates trailer parks. Chuck Norris was once in the running of the bulls. He walked. Chuck Norris once rode a bull. 9 months later it had a calf. Chuck Norris went to the Virgin Islands. Now they're just the islands. Chuck Norris has banned rainbows from North Dakota. TNT was made by Chuck Norris to relieve his indigestion. Chuck Norris is never going to have a heart attack. His heart will never be foolish enough to attack him.